recently on Friday, a movie called American Skin dropped. We both watched it separately and then together, and we both had opinions on it. And today we're gonna hear and chop it up.
If you have the opportunity to make money, to invest, to do something that's positive for your life, don't say I'm gonna do it tomorrow. I'm gonna do it just do it right now. How do you feel about that?
I feel the same way. Take action. Strike when the iron's hot. You gotta get things done. Martin Luther King Jr. Day, so the holiday.
Feeling good. I walk around the corner, man woke up, hit me in my chest, right? I fall on the ground, right? And I look up, it's Dr. Martin Luther King. I said, Dr. King. He said, oops, I thought you were somebody else.
But yeah, so today was Martin Luther King Jr. Day, January 18th, 2021.
Yes,
His actual birthday is January 15th, though. But yeah, we're celebrating that today, and we're doing a video on a very spicy topic, and I'm loving it. I love it at this time when it dropped, and so you know what? Let's get into it. So this movie, American Skin, the basic plot is about a retired military man. He comes home. He's been home, but he's working as a janitor right now. He has a son, and basically they get into a police stop. The police pull him over, and some things happen. You have to watch the movie, and the son ends up getting shot, and he dies. They tried the officer, and the officer was proven not to be guilty. So now Lincoln, which is the dad, is taking matters into his own hand.
So American Skin has a plethora of good actors we've seen before, and what are a few of them? Let's see.
This movie is written and directed by Nate Parker. He plays the main role. We see Bo Knapp, which is the dude that plays the cop, and then we have Ghost, Amari Hartwick, making an appearance.
Amari, yes.
Yeah. The most impactful part of this movie to me was the scene where Nate Parker, as known as Lincoln Jefferson. Lincoln Jefferson, he was speaking to his son. Well, he came in on his son. His son was speaking to his friend over Skype or FaceTime or whatever. And he came in, and they had a conversation about the importance of knowing laws, the importance of knowing that your rights, and being able to recite it when you get into a situation where you need to recite it. But the crazy part about this is that he told his son, like, sometimes you can know your rights, you can be educated, but in certain situations where you have these rights, you kind of don't because you're black. So if you guys have seen the movie, you know that
the rules are different sometimes.
It is, and it's like
situation based.
And I think the main that's good, that's huge, situation based. And I feel like the main theme of that scene was are you going to be a teacher of your kid, teaching your kid to follow directions or follow rules or know the rules, or just get home safe? And how are you going to teach your son? Would you teach your son to stay home, to stay safe, or follow rules, or know your rules, or judge it by a situation?
Alright, it's definitely a situation, because we are both black males. We're gonna have black children, hopefully, and I'm sure we're gonna have a talk where they're of age, where it's like if you get pulled over, it's different than somebody else getting pulled over, and they need to understand why. Understand, do whatever the officer says, and make sure you get back home safe. I don't care. Honestly, it's quote unquote breaking the rules, I would say, or making the rules fit for the officer, which is again situational based, but it's still, as long as you're safe. We don't even have kids yet, and we're talking about this, and it's like I'm sure that conversation is not going to be as comfortable as we would want it, but it's one we need to have.
So speaking of standing down and speaking of gun, right? There's a scene where Lincoln, he meets up with the guy who killed his son, who shot his son, right? And he has an opportunity to kill him. Are you pulling the trigger? Are you killing that cop? Are you killing that cop who killed your son?
The first time?
Yeah. Are you pulling the trigger? Are you ending his life right there and right then? What are you doing?
I think he did it the right way, where he had an empty clip, but he's not leaving without a black eye or something. I'm sure Lincoln, he obviously knew the repercussions. He was gonna go to jail for probably a long time if, obviously with the ending of the movie. But maybe, or he basically put the fear of God in him by the end of the movie, and I don't know.
So is that a yes or is that a no?
Am I killing him? No, or I'm not killing him. Are you killing him? What's your stance? Definitely sucker punch.
I'm not killing him.
No.
Like I said, we were speaking about this yesterday. We can sit here and tell you all our reactions right now and not being in the actual situation.
Yeah,
but if something happens right there and then, and you have the opportunity to do it, you never know how you might act. Yeah. But how I would like myself to act is I would like to show control, and I wouldn't kill him.
And at this point in time, we don't have kids, so until we bring a kid into this world, we probably wouldn't know how it feels.
Yeah, I asked my mom the question, and she straight up said, "Yeah, I'm killing him." That's it.
Mom
she said, "Yeah."
And I'm sure my mom would probably be in the same boat. So, one of my most impactful scene that I think is most impactful in the movie is when Jordan was talking to the jury of the 12.
This sucks.
Yes. And he was like, "This sucks." Like they always talk about how back the blue, support the police, but he talks about how they never talk about a kid lost his life, and it's that's the big story. A kid did unfortunately end up losing his life, and it's we're not shedding light on that. And he's like, if one cop has to pay for it, so be it.
So Jay, you remember Ghost part, right? I keep saying Ghost. Omari Hardwick's part,
right.
Where the beginning of the beginning of the movie, sort of the beginning of the movie, where he mentions everything about how people react to certain situations, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I felt that was, if I had to choose the second most impactful thing for me, it'd be that, because so basically what he's saying is that Black people in America are the only ones that are expected to react peacefully when shit hits the fan and stuff and crazy stuff happens. But the crazy part about this movie is that it was filmed in 2019, but it just not released in 2021.
Yeah.
And this part, what he was saying, Omari was saying that when other than blacks, when people are upset, when people are upset about what's going on in the world or whatever's happening, they react with force. They don't ask questions. They just react, and they just go crazy, and they just get whatever they're supposed to get done. They just get it done. So that's similar to the Capitol, the crisis on the Capitol. It's very similar, because people were upset and didn't ask questions. They just boom. Even though there's subplots to that whole thing, which is understandable, but it's crazy. So during that, I call it Omari's soliloquy. That's what I call it for some reason. He also mentioned the role of a woman and the role that the media plays. He was saying the first thing that they do when a little boy, when a boy dies, they put the mom on camera. Especially when there's a lot of riots and there's a lot of destruction going on, they put the mom on camera to diffuse situations. What makes you think that putting a mom on the TV will make people say, okay, maybe we should stop what we're doing? Why wouldn't they choose the dad? Why would they choose the mom instead of the dad?
I feel like it's similar to when businesses have receptionists and they answer the phone and it's a female voice. They feel more comforting, and they're more inclined to give your service. I don't know if you ever noticed that. A lot of businesses have female receptionists because they feel when you if you hear a female voice, imagine you being, I guess, upset on the phone, and then you call and then you hear a female or your mom or your girlfriend, you're gonna kind of lower the tone just a little bit.
Okay.
So maybe it's similar to that, where it's all right. Maybe we're gonna listen to the mom and not be blinded by anger. We're gonna listen, and it's gonna be more, I guess, a comforting voice.
It's this is this person's mom who just died. She gave birth to this person. If the person who gave birth to this person, should be the most upset, who should be the most distraught, is telling everybody to relax and calm down, then okay, I can get that. But it's just the way Ghost says it, is the way he delivers this speech is just perfect for me. It just does everything. So how else did they do did they use media and social media to get themes across in this movie.
Honestly, the scene where the captain came into the house, the aunt's house, the mother who lost her child, and the one of the cousins was recording, and they basically showed like through his camera lens what was happening, and he was upset, visibly, cursing, telling like the officer, don't talk to me like that, blah blah, and it was like you could tell like the emotion, and it was just a great scene because it seemed like he was the only one who was really visibly upset about it.
Yeah, and I felt like that scene had two really important things. One is what you just said. It showed the use of social media and how you can put yourself on your own platform, and it also really showed to me that. So once you watch this movie, you see that most of the police officers at the station are white, and they send. There's of course there's a correlation between the reason why they sent in their black captain into a black family's house who just lost their son. They figured that would calm down the situation because you bring in somebody that looks like you, that could comfort you. And literally, like we're saying, the cousin, he didn't, that guy could have been Asian, that guy could have been Spanish. It don't care what he was. He was like, bro, I'm tight. Like, he was just tight.
Right.
And his language was so raw. Like, when you see the scene, it for me, when I first saw it, it was making me a little bit uncomfortable because it was so raw. It did not feel like he was acting. It felt like natural emotions were coming out. And also towards the end of the movie, when
like a news report.
When they had a news report on how everything ended up happening. There was three stations, and each station had a different opinion. One said that Lincoln had a mental issue.
He was a terrorist.
One said he was a terrorist. One said he was one said he was a terrorist. One said he had a mental issue, and another one said something else. But that's three different things, and depending on which station that you see, if this is the first time you're hearing this story, you're gonna take that information that you saw, and you're gonna put that as a fact. Because what they also do is they also tie a picture into it. But when you watch the movie in a flow, you see that still shot that they took does not match the story in which they're telling. But not everybody knows that. The viewers, because we watched the movie.
Yeah, we watched the movie.
So that definitely happens in real life. People just get a little picture right there, a still shot or whatever. Because in the still shot, he looks crazy. But when you watch the movie, he was the most calm, the most in control. So, being that we were speaking about the media and social media and the news stations, how do you think? What's the one thing that they can accept a black man doing?
So at the end of the movie, after all the aftermath, the story of him, storming the police station, they show a little clip about a projected basketball draft pick. And I don't remember his name. All I remember is the nickname, Eminem.
Marquarian or Marquarius, whatever it was.
Or Eminem, and how he was projected to be a high draft pick, and basically portraying how if we're not in sports or entertainment or any of that as a black person, they don't see you as equal. And it's that's kind of crazy, but it's a great way to end the movie because it ties literally everything together. We're either on the highlights for doing something extreme or crazy, or we're playing basketball or dribbling the ball or rapping or entertaining, or it's never for, or very rarely is it for academics or education or supporting your community. It's always something negative or something to entertain.
The reason why I enjoyed this movie so much is because when I was watching it, it made me feel uncomfortable. This is a topic that's very spicy. It's a very hot topic. It's a topic that evokes great conversations.
And it's a topic you can't avoid.
Yeah, and it's a topic that you shouldn't avoid.
Yeah,
and
some people do.
And the best part about this movie is that the director caught the opinions from the cops. They got the reasons why cops, they understand that their job is very hard. It's a dangerous job, and there's split-second decision that you have to make. And they caught it great. They caught opinions from cops on how they think that situation could be better, how they think that quote-unquote black people should act in a situation, and then they go back to the African Americans who were saying, listen, that's nice and dandy how you feel, but this is how we feel. And they really got both sides. Like, I swear to you, they got both sides of the story. Even though we're both African American black, but they got both sides of the story.
Very heated discussion, you know. It's and LJ Lincoln Jefferson gave everybody, you know, a free, you know, open mic basically to speak whatever they felt. You know, he didn't feel like anybody's opinion was, you know, should be overlooked. You know, there was opinions of Latina cop. There's opinions of, you know, the white guy who was involved with the shooting but didn't actually pull the trigger. There's opinions of the captain, opinions of another Hispanic cop, and how they all felt like they could deal with, you know, each situation, how each race, you know, kind of stereotyped each one doing like crime and gang and all that.
And the first crazy part of the movie is, of course, the scene where they got pulled over by the cop, right? Now, let's say you're the father, right? And obviously Lincoln told his son to put down the phone. But do you feel like the son was wrong for not putting his phone down? Wrong in the sense of situation or whatever, however you want to see wrong. Did he make that situation any better doing what he did?
I felt like the kid knew his rights, but situational. I'm probably dropping the phone as a kid, but he felt like he knew his rights to a T, and he felt like no one should be able to take away my rights, which is what everybody should strive for.
Which is correct.
But that situation, drop the phone, you know, and, you know, comply to the officer. But he knew his rights more than probably a lot of adults, and, you know, I hate to say it, but he died for his rights. He knew them to
and you know, there's a part in it where they were speaking about de-escalation and escalation of a situation. And I really want to spark this conversation. If there's anybody out there that's maybe in law enforcement or is a cop, I would really love to have a conversation with you. Like, is that an actual thing? Like, once a gun is drawn, can you de-escalate it? Can you put the gun away? Or once the gun is drawn, that's it?
I think it really, once it's drawn, that's it. Because I feel like there has to be, I guess, a commanding officer saying, like, stand down. I feel like we've seen that. I don't know. I feel like movies would portray that correctly, where everybody has their guns drawn. Like in the police office at the beginning, where Lincoln, he had the gun to the cop's head, the police chief, and he was like, stand down, because they were still shooting. Yeah. Until he said, I guess, stand down. I guess a commanding officer had to make the order. I guess that's what they're taught.
So, you know, they really also hit on this in this movie, the idea of appropriation of African American culture and African American music. You know, there was a scene in the cop station where a cop was saying, listen, you guys don't help yourself out. And they're like, what do you mean? They're like, because look at what you're depicted as on TV. Then he started making fun of like rappers and people, you know what I'm saying, making fun of the lyrics, drug this, hold this, kill that, shoot this, which I'm not gonna lie, the music right now, some of it is like that. Explain to me what that one of the prisoners said when he said that.
He basically said it brings in the money, you know. Basically, those are the kids who are buying. He's saying white kids, you know, go crazy. I'm sure we've seen a lot of music go crazy on like TikTok and things like that. That's a lot of white kids buying that, iTunes, all that.
It's basically just saying like the music that certain people buy, that's not a reality to them. But the people who are making the music, some people who are making that music, that's their reality. And he literally said that we're dying. People who are making the music are dying so other people can buy it.
So Malik, for the past couple of months, we've been creating like YouTube videos, you know, more of a sit down talk type of style. But like in the movie, it was more of a documentary type of style. Did you enjoy that, or do you like more of like a movie cinematic, or do you like the more kind of cell phone up close in your face, like in the action?
This movie, yeah, right away you get that sense that, to me, when I first saw it, for some reason I thought of Paranormal Activity. like how they're recording it, like it's like a camera.
First person.
Yeah,
Okay.
I felt like it was like how Paranormal Activity did it.
Are you scared?
And I wasn't scared, but like
Right.
watching it, I liked it because it gave a sense of like it makes you more feel like you're more there.
Or like mad inclusive.
But I think as the movie went on, I low key forgot that they were still doing it. Because I remember we were speaking about this yesterday. I was like, I kind of don't like the whole movie like documentary style.
Word.
I might,
But it kind of like fades away.
But they really like mixed it in well. Like there were certain scenes where they made sure that you knew that it was a documentary style. Because at the end of the day, Homeboy said if you want to make a documentary, now you got the opportunity to make it.
Word. Let's see. What scenes did they highlight? I would say the scene where the girl tried to call the cops.
Okay.
That was like one of the highlighted scenes. And then a scene we talked about before, like being like in the juror. Like it kind of felt like we were one of the jurors.
Okay.
In that scene, you know, where like we felt like we're in that room, you know, deliberating for this man's kind of guilty or non-guilty sentence. It was crazy. Or I think they did a great job with that. And even like when there were certain films where they would be behind like a glass, behind the shades, where I love that. It's like you're outside the room, kind of like The Office,
but you can hear
what's going on.
And
it's like where it's kind of you're there, but you're not. It's where they did a great job, documentary style, where cinematic.
Also,
what's good
now this is something that I peeped. And I spoke to you yesterday about it, and I was like, you know, so there was a scene in the movie where, so basically everybody who's helping Lincoln storm the police station, they're all ex-military. Most of them are all ex-military. And there was a scene where there's a little bit of confusion in the police station where a cop that was under hostage took a gun from the people who stormed the police station and shot somebody, right? And this guy was the uncle or the elder statements of the group, right? And he got shot. He was bleeding, and they was like, "Listen, you're done. You got to go get help. You don't know this could kill you." He said, "No,
I'm gonna stay."
He literally said, "No. This is the first time you made me feel alive." Now, when I think about that, I think about a guy who was in the military. He was in war, which is crazy. I've never been in war. I don't want to imagine it. Thank you for everybody who is serving. But when they come home, just like Lincoln, he came home, he served in the military, and he went home to go work as a janitor. Nothing on janitors, but I feel like people who come back from the military, come on.
Or you should be protected. Like
the old guy, he was saying,
for the veterans.
He was saying that he hasn't felt alive since he was in war. And
like what's crazy with that scene, like how it started, the inmate or the prison person, whatever, he just wanted to get like a hit in on the cop. And then here comes, you know, the old vet trying to be the peace mediator, you know, break it up. And then the cop grabs the gun. I guess he tries to shoot Lincoln, misses, and then lets off a second one and goes through the vet's the arm or shoulder. And it's like he was just trying to be the peace mediator, and he ended up getting hurt. And even in the whole movie, the only people who were getting hurt was really black people. Wow.
No, I think what it depicts is it highlights the differences that we have.
What does it depict, bro? Let's hear it.
It highlights the differences, but it also sheds light that the playing ground is still unfair.
Completely.
But what it really says is that it makes the differences obvious. Everybody knows the differences between races and differences between where we come from and where you come from, and how we was brought to this country and how you came to this country. Everybody knows the differences, but I feel like now it's just like, okay, we know differences, but shit is still gonna be bad.
Yeah.
Shit's still gonna be effed up. It's something bad is still gonna happen. So what's the point of knowing all these differences? Are we supposed to know the differences, then come together, then figure out a way to be together? No, that's not gonna happen.
I think it will. We just gotta keep having the uncomfortable conversations, keep spreading the right messages. You know, positivity. You know, love for everyone, no matter what you look like. You know, if you're my brother and my sister, you know, I rock with you. We rock with you, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you look like. But we got to keep having these conversations about, you know, why you feel this way. Why is there an irrational fear of, you know, when I pull over this black family, why I think they will have a gun. Why is that an irrational fear? Where if I say like I don't know, a mom and their daughter were in the same position, white mom and white daughter, there's no irrational fear of them having a gun. If it was the same time, same place, maybe they were speeding, that's when the bad guys come out, right? That's what he said, right? That's when the bad guys come out. But if it was a white mom with their daughter or their son, white son, or white dad, and they're not gonna have this irrational fear where I'm gonna get hurt. I just don't see it happening. They definitely don't. They might just let them go. It might have been a different situation. It might have been, you know, here, let me go run your insurance, and that's another thing. If the police have you know, all this information in the scene, if he knew the insurance was expired, why didn't he just go to his car and check it, or run the plates for, you know, expired license plates or expired registration, insurance, whatever it was. I feel like they have that access to that information, and they both could have went home safe. Nothing else would have happened, you know, and we don't even have this conversation, but we are, and here we are.
I do understand that. I do agree with it, but I feel like, you know, and this message is going out to everybody. But just like how we're speaking about this, some people are at a disadvantage in certain situations when it comes to being stopped, when it comes to being pulled over. And listen, anybody who is driving a car, please make sure at all times all the information in your car is up to date.
Or ready, accessible.
License, registration, insurance, everything is up to date.
Yeah.
Because in this situation, although it is not Lincoln's fault that his child died or got killed, that is not his fault. But there's a chain and reaction, okay? Things happen before that. It's like a domino effect. And if his insurance was clear and valid in that situation, Jason doesn't want to agree with me on this, but the situation would have stopped. It would have stopped right there.
It starts from the initial
Absolutely.
reaction. They were allegedly speeding in between speed bumps, and I don't even know how that's possible, because nobody wants to mess up their car in a speed bump. Nobody even goes over. I slowed down and hit each one consecutively. So they weren't speeding, you know, to make light of it. You know, we're making jokes, but it's a real situation. It's like, that's what started the situation. Racial profiling, alleged speeding. You know, unfortunately, yes, it was expired, and you know, that's something, you know, obviously you would have to deal with, but we're not even in that situation if they don't think they're speeding. Watching the movie, what would you give it a rate out of 10? What do you rate this movie?
Like I said, this movie, I give it between, I'll say a 9.7. The reason why I'm rating so high is because, yes, it was written, directed by a black man, a mostly black cast, but it gave insight into the other side of police and their job and what it takes to be a police, and how they think and how they are trained potentially. That's why I'm giving it such a high rate, because it gives both sides, not just one side.
Yeah, it wasn't full bias of black or cops. It was
seriously, it was not. This video may seem like that, but it wasn't.
What would I give that now? All right, wait. I'll give it a 9. Some scenes, a lot of the fluidity kind of didn't make sense. I give it a flat 9. Where I enjoyed, you know, watching it documentary style. Definitely boosted it for me. You know, definitely to see, like,
it was a documentary for me.
Wait, and let's see. Would you change anything in the movie, or have an alternate ending, or, you know, anything that could have made it the 0.3 to make it the 10?
So for me, I don't like movies that end happy, because it just doesn't seem real to me. Even though this movie didn't end happy, ended very sad. I felt that if it would have been more like, wow, it would have made you been like, oh shit, even though the ending was like that too.
Yeah.
If the kid who was making the documentary, he got shot at the end, that would have been crazy.
All right. Or some like collateral damage. Like it hits Lincoln and hits him too. Yeah, I know it might have been a little wild, but you know, maybe a gunfight to end it. Where you see Ghost blaming off, let it sink.
Wait, this is power now? I think this is power.
Right. I mean, right. He's a great actor. I'm sure he knows how to handle machine gun.
Oh, he was drippy, by the way.
Right. Yeah.
Like he had on somebody's dog's collar the whole time.
The medallion shit.
Right. Everything. Thank you guys, always for watching our content. We're entering Black History Month.
Yes, February.
And I mean, not even just to us. This is a very important month because it's my birthday. So anytime, you know, my birthday month comes into it, it should be a national holiday.
Right.
So I'm trying to work on that. But no, for real, watch this movie. If you haven't watched it, I'll throw it over to Jay. But really, thank you guys for watching.
All right. Thank you for watching. You know, like, comment, subscribe. You know, stay tuned. We're gonna, you know, drop in quality content. You know, once it gets a little bit warmer outside, please stay tuned because, you know, we're gonna get these gains. We're gonna see we're gonna be enjoying the sun, you know, having fun, and we're obviously music, movies.
Still waiting on
shows.
Aubrey. Still waiting on Aubrey.
Hopefully,
waiting on him.
Hopefully he drops this week, and you know, enjoying life.
Yeah. So thank you for watching this 45-minute video.
Where there's a long one.
Yeah.
Lots
thank
to
you.
Unpack, but thank you. If you got this far, thank you. All right, let's end it.
And that's gonna end our review reaction to American Skin.